Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at a devblog for some pre-orders. We'll split it up into two videos. The first one will be about the Iron Duke, and then the second one about, of course, the Yamashiro. With the rank 6 blue water coming in, it was a perfect opportunity for Gaijin to sell high BR premiums, and that's exactly what they're doing. They put in 3 premiums in the last major update, and now we're at least getting 2 more for different nations. The first one is for Britain, and it's of course the HMS Iron Duke. It's going to be rank 5 for Britain, so you'll be able to research everything in the tech tree, and it also comes with some fun pre-order bonuses. The vehicle, at least for me, is $90 Canadian, which is pretty pricey, but you know, c'est la vie, that's how it is. And also, if you want to get a discount on any of these offers on the Gaijin store, make sure to use my link, which I'll put in the description, to get yourself a discount and also support the channel. With the pack, you get 3,000 Golden Eagles, you get a premium account for 30 days, and then you also get the Iron Duke title, and then also the unique flag banner of the Duke of Wellington, which is kind of cool. I like the fact that they've added in flags for the naval side of things, giving a little bit of pizzazz and meaning that people can bring along their coolness, I suppose. The interesting thing about the HMS Iron Duke is it's another one of these vehicles which is from the First World War. It was, of course, named after the Duke of Wellington, the man who was able to beat Napoleon, and it was the lead ship of her class in the Royal Navy. It was used a lot in the First World War, and also at the same time was part of the Battle of Jutland, just like every other First World War vehicle, which was of use from at least Britain and also Germany. And also, at the same time, it was the flagship of the Grand Fleet under the personal command of Admiral John Jellicoe. So that's pretty cool indeed. The main issue with this thing, as usual when we have a look at these types of vehicles, is its armament though. The primary armament is pretty good. It has access to 10 343mm cannons, which are housed in 5 twin gun turrets. So 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and 1 in the center. It means that you can get a full broadside off, which is really, really nice for the vehicle. There's a problem though, and that is the fact that its secondaries don't have a lot of AA on them. So it's another one of these battleships which is very much designed around the idea of destroying other ships and not being able to defend itself. The vehicle has access to 12 152mm, they call them anti-mine guns, which seems kind of odd, and then also 2 102mm anti-aircraft guns, and then of course 4 533mm torpedo tubes. So the vehicle is super reliant on its main armament and really nothing else, and that pretty much means once guns are knocked out or once you know, an ammo rack has exploded, you are pretty useless on the battlefield. The nice thing about Britain, though, is it does have quite a lot of units at rank 5 and 6 that can complement a vehicle like this, and I don't think this will be a top BR vehicle, just because of the fact it doesn't really have any secondary factors on it. This isn't like a World War II variant of the Iron Duke, where they've just filled it full of AA. Instead, it's just in a setup where it just doesn't have as much as others. The vehicle will be completely fine though, and going ahead as a firstborn, so you won't have to deal with too much aviation, it'll work incredibly well. They also seem to be adding some kind of skin to it, so there's blue, black and grey setup, which is quite nice. Hopefully, at the end of the day, people enjoy that and people have a good time with it. I'm thinking when it comes to these good old pre-war battleships, I think their time is, you know, still around and still going to be completely fine, even with all of the BR decompression that's gone on for naval. You know, they put up the max BR like 3 times, I believe, in the last year and a half, so it brought in a lot more planes to be able to play around the area. I still think it should be fine at making a good dent in the first few minutes, and then obviously going from there. One of the problems that I found with vehicles like the Iron Duke is the reload on the guns. It technically takes forever, and there's still, especially with the more recent damage changes, or the actual way that you take damage in naval, I'm still working out whether it's better to have a higher fire rate and lower caliber, or larger caliber and slower fire rate for a lot of vehicles. I generally think slightly lower caliber, higher fire rate is better, but with this being a battleship, it has the armor to be able to stop a lot of those lower caliber rounds. I think this will be very similar to a lot of other battleships, if I'm honest with you. I don't think this one is going to, completely change the way that people play, but the main thing that it gives you, of course, is a way to be able to grind into the higher echelons as we go through. One of the things that has to be also understood is now that we have rank 6 of naval, they haven't really added anything which has kind of been part of like that rank 6 transition for the actual tech trees themselves. The rank 5 premiums that they brought in are the only thing which kind of shows a new era for the rank. So in this update, or maybe in the next one, we're going to see some kind of explosion of a bunch of naval vehicles at the highest echelon, depending on what they might be. There might be some destroyers with missiles. It might be the new era of battleship, which we've been slowly creeping towards. Stuff such as the mid-war or early war battleships, things like the Bismarck, of course, the Tirpitz, the Yamato, and of course even the Iowa must be around the corner somewhere, and of course the King George, because at the end of the day, naval has to keep progressing, and if they're bringing in these vehicles, which most of them are very similar to standard tech tree vehicles, they're obviously going to want to add stuff which people want to grind. So for Britain, and also for Japan, who are getting these premiums, I'm sure they're going to get a nice shiny thing as well, just like America did with theirs. It was kind of a surprise that Germany didn't, and I don't think the USSR did either. But they also had a lot of stuff to grind anyway with the general ships. So if you don't want to grind through the standard blue water tech tree, if you don't want to, get through it and play all the vehicles, and you just want to turn up and be able to shoot stuff with big old guns, the Iron Duke isn't a terrible idea. And also with the extra flag, and with the extra bonuses, it is quite nice to have. I do personally would prefer it to be cheaper with a bit less GE and also premium time, because as the prices increase, at least for me, they get a little bit more out of reach. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Juan the Panda, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Bareen, Peter Grayling, Alan Hacker, Sem Alslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R., and also Lafouche for supporting the channel.